It's really windy and there's lots of traffic right now, but it's so beautiful outside. I thought it was the perfect day for a little garden update. My kale and cabbage are really taking off. We'll take a peek at the kale. I've been using whatever I can find to kind of hold the insect fabric, but everything's looking really good. That red boar kale, it's so healthy. Got lots of new growth here on top. Hopefully you can see that. The Ursa kale, that was a new variety to me. That one's doing pretty good too. I just harvested a ton. You can see on all the bottoms here, they're looking kind of tree-like. But last night or yesterday evening I harvested a ton and then sprayed everything down really good with some BT. I could tell there's some insect in here, some caterpillar or something eating some of the plants, so I gave it a really good spray. But I wanted to harvest a bunch first. This winter boar, I think I've said before, is definitely my favorite from Johnny's. But it's super thick, super curly. I'm a fan of the really curly kale. I love how crunchy it is. I don't massage my kale before putting it in salads like you're supposed to do, at least per a lot of the recipes I found. I actually like the tough crunchiness of the kale. But the winter boar and the red boar seem to be doing the best so far. But this scarlet kale, see if I can get that open. Scarlet kale is doing pretty good too. It's really pretty. It looks a lot like the red boar, so I don't know if they all came from Johnny's, but if it didn't, I wonder if this scarlet kale is just red boar but for a different company. Who knows? However, it's not quite as big, but it does look very similar. So the kale's doing great. Let's see where that clip went. We'll go take a peek at the cabbage. Now while we're over here, this Megatron pepper is still hanging on. Still pumping out really large jalapenos. My husband really likes stuffed jalapenos, so that's what we've been doing with them. I've been trying to leave them be so I can get a nice collection to make some more. And then this Jimmy Nardello, it is still cranking out peppers as well. And it's hard to believe it's October, the end of October. And look at all these Jimmy Nardellos. Our Ajvarskis, they're still growing. Then my Lesia plant has fallen over, but it's also still cranking out tons of peppers, so that's awesome. On to the cabbage and broccoli. I think the real reason I sprayed the BT is because the broccoli was looking pretty damaged, but overall it's okay. My cabbage is definitely forming heads. One of them was really eaten down, that guy right there. So I sprayed, but the others don't seem too impacted by whatever it was, especially this purple kale variety. That's not eaten too terribly much. Let's see, Red Acre. So Red Acre cabbage doesn't seem to be as damaged as some of the other Golden Acre and what is this? Let's see if we can see what varieties we have in here. The leaves are so big I can't see anymore. Well, I guess I didn't label this one. Or it's lost. Oh, there it is. This is a snowbird, maybe? Oh, stonehead cabbage. So that's what those are. The heads seem unbothered, so maybe that's a good one as far as pests. And then this over here, the Sun King broccoli. The pest must really like that one. And then we got Romanesco, DeChico, and Goliath down there. So I don't know, I guess all of the broccoli is getting a little eaten up, but still having the insect cloth is much more beneficial than having nothing on it at all. I think maybe one white moth must have flew in here and laid some eggs, but hopefully the BT I just sprayed will take care of anything that's in there. And then on a side note, isn't this the prettiest flower? I planted some dahlias from Lowe's. Isn't that beautiful? It's a Seattle dahlia. It's my second one. The first was very much orange, and they're supposed to be yellow with, I think, hints of orange in them. But this is the most yellow of them so far, but it's hard to see any yellow compared to these Unwinds dahlias that are like bright lemon yellow colored. But this little corner of the garden is really pretty. And my massive comfrey plant over there. I haven't done anything with the comfrey, and I want to experiment, make some fertilizer using the comfrey leaves. I don't know, maybe. But let's take a peek at a few other things that were planted. So these are violas that I started indoors. Don't remember what color they are, but they're looking healthy. We'll see in a few weeks, I guess. And then over here, this little bed, it was a little pumpkin patch. I sprinkled a bunch of carrot seeds. I thinned them somewhat. So we'll have some carrots in that little isolated bed. This bed here, I sprinkled a ton of old radish seeds, so 2021, 2022, 2023, quick maturing radish variety. So I just put them there. I don't think I'm even going to thin it. I think I'll just see what happens. And if I get a few big ones, then I'll roast them. And if not, then I'll just add the leaves to salad. Now, my favorite radish is daikon because my husband and I love to ferment them. And they are already popping up out of the soil there. Now they can get almost 1.5 feet long, but they're definitely growing there all underneath, so that's pretty exciting. I should have planted another little patch of them, and maybe I will, because we don't have any frost in the next 14 days, so maybe there's time to get another patch in. Here's some carrots I had my son plant for me. He sprinkled them about. Peas are still doing good. I kind of helped them climb a little bit with some twine. These are the Oregon Giant snow peas. They're finally starting to climb. I did have to help them a little bit too. My lone tomato plant, Gold Medal. I've got some tomatoes. I really hope I can get at least these 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can get those 4 to ripen before the frost, or to at least start blushing, then I'll be super pleased, and it would have been worth it to save the plant just to get a couple more. In my, I guess I'll call it my greens bed. This is phenomenal. All the tatsoi, I know I planted radish, but I want to say this is, I wish I knew. I keep forgetting. Maybe rutabaga. I think there's some rutabaga back here. But there's little radish that are starting to form. They're starting to form a little bit down there. Some not so much. Everything is planted really closely. I didn't expect, I guess, the bok choy to come up quite so quick, but man, just a couple weeks and it's huge. But back there, the tatsoi is just beautiful. I can't wait to harvest that. My boys like it sauteed. Just like kale. They like kale cooked in bacon fat, sauteed up as a side with anything. Literally anything. But there's some pretty nice sized plants in there. So I'm excited about that. Pin that down for now. I don't know where that went, but we'll just tuck it. And then this carrot bed. There's some more carrots, some baby carrots down there that I've thinned. I was thinking of putting in this back row some radish. Like I said, I still have a little bit of time, so I think maybe today I'll put daikon radish in this back half. I can get a good 2-3 rows of it. These are my dwarf teddy bear sunflowers, which are like micro dwarf. I don't know, I guess it was too cold or I planted them too late, but they definitely didn't do anything. But it is what it is. And then, oh yeah, the bottom of this bed I planted some 2022 Atlas carrot seeds and they popped up. So I think it was a good, it was definitely a good decision to just sprinkle them and use them up so that we can eat them and then get some fresh carrot seeds for next year. So everything's looking really good. We'll just keep following the progression.